All right, man, let's get this started. Welcome back to episode number 3 of El Podcast. My name is Alan,
Jorge,
and today we have a very special guest.
we have
Um, go
go ahead.
ahead.
We have Camilo in the house. So welcome, Camilo.
How you guys doing? How you
Good,
guys
good.
doing?
Good, man.
Chilling,
Thanks,
man.
thanks for swinging by with us tonight, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're excited, man. From what little Jorge has told me about you, you have a very interesting story.
Yeah.
So let's just start off with where you from and where were you raised?
So I was born in Colombia. Came to the U.S. when I was 13. U.S. I came to Florida. That's where my family's at. Got into Oregon because of soccer mainly. I came to Oregon to play some college soccer, and then I kind of just fell in love with the place a little bit. The soccer community is great. Soccer all around. So I kind of stayed, and now trying to get into a business that I think is good for everyone, man, especially the kids.
Hell yeah, we're really excited to talk about the business because that's something interesting that I haven't seen a lot of people do. But like, so you went to high school in Florida then?
I did.
So 13, you went to school. You played high school soccer.
I did for a year, about a year and
So-
a half or two.
I guess to kind of know you a little bit more. So you're from Colombia,
Correct.
born,
Yep.
raised till you were 13 years
Basically
old
until I was 13, and then I moved to Florida.
to Florida, and then you went to school allí.
Yeah,
todo
so I
for the
went
rest.
to school. From high school, I committed and went Division One in New York. And then from New York, I transferred out to Oregon.
Like New York, like
New York, like upstate New York.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Damn, that's down.
So what year did you play soccer in high school?
So I graduated 2016, so I played 2012 and 2013.
So how did you go to first division if you didn't even really play
Academy. So I
Academy.
played academy in high school. My last 2.5 years.
So
My
was
la-
soccer just not competitive in high school? When
No, not. It's just at that generation, I think not many people were looking at high school. High school now has become a little bit bigger. Like now, scouts and everything, they go to high school games or at least state games. Back then, it was more competitive at the club and academy level. I had, the opportunity my junior year, sophomore year, going into like the summer, going into junior year, I got the opportunity to get in touch with the coach. He came out to see me, and then he invited me to go out to his academy. And academy usually have rules that you can't really compete in high school.
Did you? So you got like scouted in pocas palabras, right?
I did.
Right?
Yes. So I did.
Did you like pay anything or like?
No, so if you, in a sense, like the way that you can get into an academy, it's like you can obviously pay your way into it if you have it. If not, you get invited, and usually if you're invited, you get put on like some sort of scholarship or something, and that's
Okay.
kind of what I was put on. I was put on like a financial scholarship because we didn't have enough
Yeah.
to pay for an academy in the U.S. Very expensive.
I guess to take it back to Colombia again. I'm guessing you played since you were little,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, so it's kind of, I grew up playing. My grandpa played professional in Colombia. I have my whole roots played. Even my mom played, like all her sisters, brothers, everyone in
It's
my
in the
family.
Blood.
Yeah, everyone in my family is soccer. It just, some people played at different levels, but the majority of family that I have, especially in Colombia right now,
Yeah.
they all play. Especially my little brother right now, he's only 14. He's playing.
Yeah.
It's kind of all we know in a sense,
Your grandpa played in you said pro or no pro?
No,
or-
so yeah, he played professional in Colombia for the Colombian League.
Okay. What
Yeah.
team or
Nacional.
Nacional?
Yeah.
Okay. Damn.
Yeah. No, he was a goalkeeper.
Okay.
Yeah,
Damn,
he
that's
was a
down,
goalkeeper.
dude. Yeah.
No, it's definitely and I still call him every day. I try
Yeah.
to call him, as much as I can and get advice because soccer over there is kind of everything.
Yeah.
In a sense, like over here in like the U.S. in a sense, it's kind of like, you have different types of sports, that you love, that everyone loves, which is not bad. It's just the most that I know about is soccer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I hear about all todo Sudamerica, no? I feel like Mexico's there, but I don't think it's in the blood, like you said. It's like it's there, but I don't think it's like South America.
No, definitely. I definitely think Mexico definitely is growing into it.
Yeah.
is definitely growing into like soccer being like their main sport. But you guys also have like great boxing fighters. Like you guys have other sports that you guys have produced like famous people in. Like for instance, like like
Yeah.
in
You
Colombia or
guys got
South
Shakira.
America. Yeah, hey, she's great. Her music, her music is great. Her music is great. But it's just in a sense, soccer culture over there is huge. Like everything is just soccer. Like everywhere you go, there's at least somewhere you can play. If not everyone owns a ball, it's kind of in the culture. You know, you kind of are born into it, and that's kind of what happened to me. Like at 3, 4, 5 years old, like picked up the ball and it kind of everyone around me would just play. So it's kind of like, well, kind of, might as
Yeah.
well insert myself.
When did you know that you wanted to play at a like elite level?
I my actually that year that I got invited to go to the academy level, I kind of had I guess a realization that what I needed to do, and then this next like year and a half or two to get there.
So it's like everybody knows you know when you're good,
Yeah.
but it's like when do you realize like I'm really good?
So for me, I didn't realize how I guess good I was until my freshman or sophomore year of college. So
Okay.
a little bit later than most people, but because I had a different like advantage than other kids, and I had like disadvantages, as in like I was put on a diet. I had to go through different things. Like I had to lose some other things that made me, in a sense, like grow even more into the sport. And then I kind of, as everyone, like you kind of just hound down and you kind of just go to your craft. And I kind of realized that at that time that I wanted to do this at a high level. So that's why for a couple years I was able to do it at a high level.
So this club that you were invited to play for in upstate New York, is that like you live there
Yes,
and you go
so
to school there?
yeah, well, it was a college.
Oh, it's a college. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
the academy that I was in was Chivas Academy, which was in Florida.
Mhm.
So it was in Sarasota, Florida. And then from there I got recruited from a showcase to go play Division 1 college in New York. And then that's when I played there for a year, year and a half. That's kind of when I proved myself, in a sense. Like after my first year, I was like, okay, like I went from club to academy to now Division 1 level. It's like I'm still here. There's a reason for it,
There's
you
a
know?
reason for it.
So Chivas Academy, like the Chivas?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
there's at that time there was three different Chivas academies. There's one in Mexico,
Mhm.
there was the one in California, and then there's one in the East Coast in Florida.
Oh, okay, I didn't know
yeah,
that.
yeah. So I got that year with those 2 years that I played for them. And one of the years we actually came to California to like the West Coast and played against the other like age group of mine
Mhm.
of the Chivas Academy there.
Growing up, because you said everybody in your family in some way played soccer. Was there anyone that was like pushing you, like, dude, you can do really good in soccer, like in the family or like close friend or something?
I think it was more my cousin.
Your cousin, one of
Yeah,
your
my
cousins.
cousin, because me and him, his name's Kevin. Me and him grew up playing together. We're the same age. We grew up playing together, and he was kind of just like he kind of we grew up playing club, and then when we separated and stopped playing together was when I went to academy. And at that point, he was kind of just like, well, obviously this is when you take it to the next step, and if you actually want to, you know. And he was there the whole way, and he's still there to this day. So he's just one of those guys that have always pushed me to just reach with like my soccer limit, just reach as much as I can, you know, playing wise at
Is he
least.
still in Florida?
Yeah, so right now
Yeah.
he's in Florida. But he stopped playing a couple years ago. He didn't go to college or anything.
Yeah.
I was blessed to get a scholarship and was able to go and maintain the 3 or 4 years that I did in college and play at the college level. But
Um,
he chose a different route and now is real estate agent and successful at what he does.
nice.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Did you? So you were in New York. Did you like live there?
Yeah, so I was there for 2 years. 2 years exactly. The weather was miserable. It was cold.
Cold,
It was
snow.
yeah,
I bet.
very very cold. After my second year in New York, at the school that I was at, I decided that I wanted to change. I actually got the opportunity to come down here and play for the U23s, the Timbers.
Yeah.
Um, and I came, loved Oregon in the summer. You know, I went back, played another season, and after that, I ended up coming back, and then that's when I transferred out here.
So what did you major in?
Sports management.
Sports management.
Yeah.
So you graduated there, and then did they scout you, or did you apply for a bunch of academies and then end up in Oregon, or how did that work out?
No, so I got invited by the Timbers U23 team in the
Uh-huh.
summer. So it's just a summer team. So you play for like the 2 or 3 months that everyone's out of school in a sense. So they invite you. You come in by invitation, or you usually come to tryouts. But the way they invite people is they usually invite. They go to like the high level like universities around the nation, and they pick like 1 or 2 or 3 players that are pretty good. You know, so and then they invite you, and then you come out, and you basically get the full experience. Like I got to train with T2 players, with like Timbers first team players. It's like you gain a lot of experience from it.
It's different, huh? It's like competitive.
Yeah.
Like, how would you say? Because I think a lot of people don't understand. Because I don't understand, right? Um, it's so competitive, right? It's like only a slight percentage really makes it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you hear all this talk about like, you know, if the U.S. had all their athletes, they would be number one in sport. But I mean, you're competing all over the world. You're competing with top-notch players. You know, like how is that experience going in there? You're like, oh damn, well, fuck, like this is like I didn't expect this, right? Like how do you handle that? Like what crosses
No,
through your mind, pues, you know?
no, I like to think of everything as like a learning experience and like a good opportunity and a positive opportunity. Like when I came down here, I hit a lot of walls because there was players that are playing that were about to
What are you
get
doing?
Oh,
that were about to get drafted to the MLS. Like they
yeah.
were top notch players. So I had to change my mindset in a sense like how can I compete with these guys? Like if I can't compete with these guys like, you know, physically, how can I do it mentally? Like
Yeah.
you unlock different aspects of your game as a player to just prove that you should be there in a sense, you know?
I've never been in your shoes, never, you know, gone to an academy, todo eso. But something I've always mentioned is like there has to be something, right? At one point it has to be something where players come back or it doesn't happen. You were in New York. Like, did you miss your family? Did you miss your friends? Was your family with you in New York? Estaba solo? Were you in the dorm? Like, how was that experience? Like, did you say I just want to go home? I just don't want to do this because you know,
Yeah, no, homesick is real.
yeah,
Especially, I mean, I think we can relate. The Hispanic culture, you're attached to your family a
yeah,
lot. Like, at least I love my family. Like, I'm guessing you guys as well. It's like you get to a certain point that it's like, how can I be close to my family? And I did hit that point, like a year and a half in. I hit that point that I was like, okay, how can I get out of the cold? How can I still do what I love at the high level, but close to my family? So actually, I when I came down here and had the first opportunity to come play with the Timbers U23 team, I was actually looking to commit and go to somewhere else in the East Coast, closer to my
yeah,
family.
yeah,
It didn't work out that way because you know God
yeah.
has different plans for everyone, but it didn't work out that way. And I actually came back, played with the U23s again, and basically got a scholarship to come down here and play my last year and a half or two. But it's difficult because you go from, at least for my experience, you
Mhm.
go from you being in a sense homesick and wanting to be close to your family. And I mean, for me, it's like my parents have always tried to see me play
Yeah.
and stuff. So it's like I wanted to be close to them so like they could come out and support, you know, instead of them watching it on a stream or online. So it gets tough. And then like that decision that I made to stay out here in the West Coast and continue to play, some some people in my family would probably say that, you know, I should have gone back. But honestly, the way my life has planned out so far, I think everything happens for a reason, and you know, I'm en route to what I want to do.
Yeah, there you go,
So
man.
but you're gonna miss your family. Of course, I'm still here, and they're still over there. I
Yeah.
still miss them as much as you know, but It's what you have to do for some things that you love, you know?
So, do you think that's what happens? Do you think people that go overseas, they go to a different country, that because a lot of times is there's a lot of good prospects like when you're young, like, oh, this guy's 14, 13 years old, they plays really good, and then out of nowhere they just it. Do you think they realize it's just so competitive, or?
Yeah, so you hit a point in your soccer career that you either go through with it and give it all, because if not, the person next to you to your right or the person next to you to your left is working at it just as much as you are.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to a certain point in your soccer career that it's either you push forward and give everything you got, or you take a couple steps back and just play, love the game, of course,
Mm-hmm.
and worry about whatever else you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it was more like I hit the point that every goal that I set for myself, like making it to a high level college, I hit
Mm-hmm.
that. Now competing at that high level, I hit that.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that I was aiming for, I was hitting. So it was kind of like I just kept trying to keep up
Mm-hmm.
and keep moving up.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
keeping myself, just competitive with other players. Cause like you said, I've met players, I still know players from all around the
Mm-hmm.
world and especially the nation. And there's some really good players. Like I know former players right now that are in the MLS that I
Mm-hmm.
played with and super good. It's just the competition never stops.
Right?
You know?
Is it a ruthless atmosphere, or no? It's like it's cool. You meet some good people, or do you meet or it's like
No,
everywhere?
it's like everywhere, but I definitely think in certain aspects, like I've been to combines,
Yeah.
I've been to camps, like I've been like to all that, and it's like in those atmospheres, everyone just wants to eat. Everyone's there for one thing and one thing only, and that's to be seen and make it to the next level. It's like that's that's what you're there for. And sometimes you doing something on the field might come off selfishness,
Mm-hmm.
but to a coach it might be like, no, like that's what we need.
Yeah.
So it's just
So two clubs, Florida club, and then upstate New York club, Chivas club, and then you played for the Timbers. At that level of coaching, was there a big difference between the three coaches that you had?
yes. So my academy coach was very he was blessed. I mean, I still tell him to this day because I do have like an open communication with him, and he's a great guy. But um, he was blessed with a really good team. Like the 2 years that I was there, academy wise, I think out of everyone that I played with those 2 years, at least 13 of us went to college.
Okay.
At least 13 or 14 of us, and that's more than the starting 11.
Yeah.
So that means starting 11 plus two or three more like kids got to go to college.
Damn.
Either if it was Division 1, Division 2, they still got to go. They were on a scholarship. My college coach he was more on the aggressive side and kind of like demanded like perfection.
Can you give me an example?
So
Like something like a moment where he demanded perfection from you, where you kind of sat back and you're like, "What the fuck?"
I guess one of the moments was kind of like I got 2 goals and 2 assists in a very good game. Like a
Mm-hmm.
very good. It was a national semifinal, and I had 2 goals and 2 assists, and we ended. We celebrated. I mean, me as a player, I'm very very proud of myself. I mean, everyone's happy. I get called on into his office, and he's kind of just like, what where do you think you could do more, or like what do you think
Mm-hmm.
you were missing? And it's kind of like you sit down, me as a player, it's like you're on such a high, and he kind of like humbles you and levels you,
Yeah.
and he's just like, well, what else could you have done? Because you had 2 goals, but you also missed 6.
Mm-hmm.
You had 2 assists, but you also missed 5 or 6
Yeah.
passes. And it's like it makes you think, because it's
What the
like
fuck?
yeah, no, it makes you think, because it's like you go back and watch film, and you're like, damn, like
He's
he's right. Like I could have really had 4 goals and 4 assists, in a sense,
Yeah.
Mm.
at perfection. That's what you should have. That's what I should have produced, and that's kind of like the coach he was, and it was. I mean, to me, it was a very eye opener, because at that time of like my career, I was very like I had a lot of highs in my
Mhm.
soccer career. Like everything, every goal, like I said, that I was hitting, I was hitting at a good rate, and for him to like level you out and kind of humble you and kind of tell you, no, like you're not perfect yet, it was good for me, because I was also young.
Yeah.
So
Do you think it works for him? Do you think he's been doing it too long and it's just like his old ways, or you think it's actually effective? Like, do you think it's effective for the majority of the players? I'm not saying everybody because it's not for everybody,
yeah,
but
no, I definitely think with the generation now, it definitely doesn't work, because or not that it doesn't work, it just doesn't work as well, just because kids now are they're they're brought up pretty like,
They're not as tough, right?
yeah, they're kind of soft.
Yeah.
It's
So,
kind of they're kind of soft. So it's like not everyone's gonna. But with the older generation, when you kind of rough it out, and you if you're on a high, like you're on a high, but it just it definitely I think worked better back then
yeah,
than now for sure.
I see.
and that was your upstate New York coach, right?
Yes. So my Timbers U23 coach, I had two.
Mm.
So my head coach, his name was Aaron. He was a great coach. He was a very I loved him because he was a very intellectual, and he cared about you in a different way. Like he loved what you did on the field, but not many coaches, whenever you get off the field, care about you.
Hmm.
Like it's more like I want you to produce on the field. Doesn't matter what you do off the field.
Yeah.
He was both sides. It's like you did well here.
Mhm.
Okay, what are you gonna do for the rest of the day? It's not you do well in a game and then you go out and party all night. Like
'Cause
he,
I think what matters a lot is, at least for me, what I see is off the field, right? How you show up. It doesn't matter what level you're in, but at least for me, it's more detailed, right? You come into training grounds, you come to training. Are you the people that are outside in the circle or the people in the front? Do you come here and you say hi to your coach, or do you just, nod your head? Are you timid? Like, off the field, do you actually get along with your peers? And I think for me, it's more important. That's more important. Obviously, you have to, play in the field,
of
but
course,
that I think that shows a lot, though. It shows a lot of
it shows respect.
who the person is.
It shows respect, and it shows just common just manners. It's like it's stuff that just by the way you organize things, by the way you treat it as like it's a job, and that's a certain point like in your soccer career. Everyone, like if you make it to like a high level, you choose. It's not
Mhm.
just you're just not going to the park with friends, or you're not going to the indoor, or you're not going here and just playing for fun. Like it's work.
Mhm.
It's really like it's your job. It's like you show up, and it's like you're showing to up to 9 to 5. You're there all day. You know, you're working out. You're doing what you need to do. But obviously, with that being said, it's like you also have to be respectful of everything that's around you. Like not many people, like the facilities that all these clubs have, all these academies have, like you gotta cherish it, like, cause
Mhm.
you never know. In a
Yeah.
sense, it's like if I could go back to those days, I would instantly. And that's why like the kids that I'm training right now, I hope they all get the opportunity to go through that path, cuz it is a great path to go through, and it shows you a lot, but it also can misguide you to the wrong of it, you
Mhm.
know?
Um, I have a question for you. So, and I was telling Jorge and getting his opinion earlier on this. So, there's a video that I keep coming across over like the last couple years of Cristiano,
Mhm.
and he was in an interview and his son was next to him, and the reporter asked him, "Do you think your son has what it takes to be the best player in the world?" And he looked at him and do you know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He looked at him and he's like, honestly, right now, no. He says he doesn't have the discipline. He likes candy bars too much,
Yep.
and like that's like a level of like, dude, this kid's like 8, and he's like, no, no candy bars, no. I forgot what orange soda I think he said the kid liked.
No sugar.
No sugar, like no nothing. So
Yeah.
how do you feel about that?
No, I definitely think. I mean, I don't have my a kid of my own yet, but if he wants to make it to that, that's what you need. You need to sacrifice those things. Just like if you need to sacrifice your time away from family, there's things that all these players in the world that you guys know, Ronaldo, Messi, all the great players, they've sacrificed a lot away from family, food. It's like you have to do it. And I learned that the hard way, because growing up, I was a good player, but athletically, I wasn't there at that level. And one of the harsh realizations that I came to when I came to a really good school my freshman year was they put me on a diet. They were simple. It was like you follow the diet, you cut, and you go through with it, and this will you will even become a better player, or you stay at this level for the next years, and you just follow your course of life.
So the diet that they had you on, you said this was your freshman sophomore year of college, right?
Yeah, my
So
freshman year.
how much did you weigh when you went in?
So I weighed 165.
And what were they making you eat?
So I was basically on like a low carb diet. I
Mm-hmm.
was on a very low carb diet with high protein. So I was eating a lot of chicken. I was eating very not much rice. I was eating a lot of vegetables, water with everything. It was very clean diet, very clean, and you feel clean.
You
You
get
feel
tired of it?
yeah.
You said yeah.
Yeah, I was on it for 3 months, and after the first month, I was miserable.
Were you miserable?
I was miserable because I mean, just like you guys know,
Yeah.
I mean, in my culture, you grow up eating rice, beans,
Yeah.
all the carbs you can
Yep.
think of, all of them.
Exactly.
So it's like from going to that, my mom's not cooking for me no more. My mom's not there. It's like if I want to do this, I have to sacrifice. And you get to that point that you sacrifice, and it's for the better. You feel healthier, you feel better, and then that's why like even now that I'm not even playing, I still have habits that like I still want to go out there and eat whatever, but I don't.
You still kind of have your
Still
discipline.
limit, yeah.
Still have that little boundary where I think subconsciously you know that this is the way, right?
Yeah, so I do agree with that if kids want to like make it to that level to be the best in the world, because I hope every kid wants to dream like that, you're gonna sacrifice a lot, and it's gonna be from a young age. Like me, I started this diet when I was already 17 or 18,
Mhm.
but if you can start it, if someone would have told me when I was 11 or 12, it would have been perfect. But I didn't have that type of guidance. I didn't have a Ronaldo next to me that could, put me through, tell me,
Put you on game
yeah,
like that.
put,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's like it kind of shows you the level that you want to be at if you
Yeah.
sacrifice those things.
Cristiano or Messi?
No, Messi.
Messi.
Messi. Yeah,
Why?
yeah. I just love the Messi just impacts for me. I mean, Ronaldo's a great player and
Yeah.
honestly respect what he does, but for me, if I say soccer player, is because you impact majority of the game. And Messi impacts, like for instance, right now he's running for the Golden Boot, but he's also running for the most assists in the World Cup. Not many players, if any player, do that.
Yeah.
Like he creates so much for his country. Not only for his country, he did a lot for Barca. I mean, it's just for me, Messi all around is just much better.
Was he your favorite player? Who was your favorite player growing up?
So when I first started actually watching soccer was Ronaldinho.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was just the guy that I would try to mimic. Obviously, it would never work because the things that he does, you just can't do. Um, but he was definitely one of those guys that I went to and just wanted to, mimic. Just what trick should I do next, this and that. But the player that I fell in love with, and he to me is probably one of the best midfielders ever is Iniesta.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely like it pitch perfect on
Yeah.
on just the type of player that I kind of wanted to be, or I kind of sensed my playing style around, just because he was just so good, very very good, just super good.
Yeah. I think Ronaldinho, man, he's a beast, man. I don't. How old are you when you were watching him?
Oh, young, I was probably 12, 13, 14.
Yeah.
I wasn't even. Yeah, I was going.
Nah, I think he's just. I think todos nos quedamos, with the, what if he actually disciplined? What if this?
And
But
that's the difference that you see. Like you see a Ronaldo that his career obviously, once he made sacrifices and he changed his body, he changed his mindset, everything, his career skyrocketed. Instead, Ronaldinho, when he was at his peak, instead of continuing his peak, he got into different things that
party,
yeah,
todo acá.
different things that take you away from the field.
One of the things that I've always looked at and it's just kind of like to look at it, why, what happened. Just I like that.
Yeah.
It's I feel like he won everything.
Yeah.
And I think nosotros wanted more from him. And it's like he was one of the first players that broke the YouTube, 1 million views. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
He's one of the first players out there, way que pretty much did everything. He's won almost every title, every award. He's won the World Cup, I think once or twice. Once, no?
Once, yeah.
2002. I think everything he did was so like easy. He was happy about it, and I think at one point he didn't control his life. It was, you got an appointment here, you got to do photography, you got a commercial over here, you got to do this, you got to do that, and it's like at one point, where do you actually enjoy your fame or enjoy your winnings, right? And I think that's my personal opinion. I don't know, I could be wrong, obviously, but
No, I definitely think you're right because he's a winner.
Yeah.
No one can say he's not. He's a winner, and he's definitely one of the best players to ever play. But you do get to a certain point that, like, you got to be here, you got to be here. You're kind of like, in one day, you're in 10 different spots. And it's like at one point in your life, you're going to want something different. And at one point when he probably got to the point that he's like, okay, like, this is not something I want to do for the next 5 years. He started going down. That's when he moved to Italy and, started playing for AC Milan. Wasn't great, but players like, and it happens all the time because it's like you have players that are really, really good for about 3 to 5 years, and then they disappear.
But I think he won everything though.
Everything. No, everything.
Yeah,
Champions
it's like,
League,
dude, it's like
everything.
champions,
That's what I
todo.
mean.
It's
He's a winner.
What do you do? I don't think we could put ourselves in that level and like in that mindset. It's like, what chingados,
I think that's tough because
it's
like
just-
at that point, like who's gonna say something to me?
Yeah.
Like, you think you're gonna be able to put me on game after you've seen all these awards that I've earned? Like, what are you gonna tell me?
Yeah.
It's like what they say. It's like what they say about Kanye too. At this point, they're saying like no one on Kanye's team can really tell him anything.
Yeah.
Because like, dude, I made $1 billion. You're not gonna
Yeah,
tell me I'm
what
not
are
good
you
in
gonna
business.
tell
What are you
me?
gonna tell me?
You
Right?
get,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
get to that pedestal, like as any profession that you're in.
Yeah.
You get to a pedestal that realistically you don't have to listen to anyone.
Yeah.
You don't have to take advice from anyone because you
already
in
made
a-
it. Yeah.
in
You
a sense, you
got
already
the highest
made
peak.
it.
I don't know if
Exactly.
soccer players were making that kind of money that athletes are nowadays, but I mean, I'm assuming he was probably pretty set for life.
Back then, casi no.
But
No.
was he not set for life with the money he made?
No,
Not really?
no. He went broke, no?
Yeah,
he
he
went
went-
broke. Dude, he
yeah.
was in prison.
Yeah, he was in
Really?
prison
Yeah.
también.
What was
Yeah,
he-
Paraguay, no?
yeah,
When was he
Yeah.
in prison?
Taxes fraud? or something?
yeah, something like
I don't know
that.
what it is, but dude, he literally fell, but it's because, that's just, he just
Dang.
chose that life, dude. Hey, but going back to Cristiano, I just came across a thing, dude, where they say that his body's actually it's not aging.
No, so he
it's-
right now his physical, like he's at my age.
Yeah.
He's at 23
know
years
that?
old.
I didn't know that.
So his body, so like you can get tested, and like his body, basically just like his athletic ability at the moment, he's at 23 years old, and it's ridiculous because he's about 34, 35.
No, he's 38.
Yeah, that's even. See, I was giving him less years.
Yeah.
So it's just.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that. So is he like a LeBron James? How they say that he spends $1 million a year on his body?
Yes,
That's
think
like
so,
for
massages,
sure.
Nutrition.
And I think most athletes do, because even like Conor McGregor does it. Like Mayweather has even said that they waste. That all these athletes do. It also depends on genetics, because him, like at least Ronaldo, genetically, he's a beast.
But
He's
I came across and they broke it down, and I'm not too obviously knowledgeable about how they did it or whatever, but they saying it's what he consumes, what he eats, and I think everybody knows that. But I think he's so consistent and disciplined.
I think he's one of the most disciplined athletes in like the
No,
world.
no,
dude.
like sugar, soda.
it's a diet, and that all like goes a long way. Like it's like if you cut out all those things for, like I cut off all those things for 3 months, and I made a drastic change. Now imagine he's been at the top level for almost more than a decade,
Yeah.
and your body changes completely and adapts, and instead of you aging in a sense, you just keep.
I was gonna ask you. I forgot. You said you weighed 165 pounds when
Yeah.
you went in before the 3-month low carb diet.
Yeah,
What did you weigh after the 3 months?
about 138, 140. and that's what I weigh right now. I'm at 140 right now.
So you lost like 25 pounds. And I'm
About
assuming
20.
you gained a lot of muscle too.
Yeah.
So if you wouldn't have gained muscle, it would have been way less than the 138.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
No, yeah, it was a very drastic change because it was a sacrifice that I wanted to make because I mean, I sat down, and at that level, you have nutritionists, you have people that know. Like, they sit you down, just like we're sitting down, and they'll tell you the truth. They're like, you can up your game by this much if you change this. If you lose some body fat percentage, you'll do this.
That's
and
crazy.
it's true. I mean, like Ronaldo, all these guys have less than 8% body fat, and it's just that all happens. Like the extra body fat that adds to your body, it does make a difference. You know, it's like, especially at that level. At that level, everyone's a beast. Everyone's fit.
I just never seen Messi or Cristiano, any of these two. Like, it used to be back in the day, it's like 2 to 3 years, the best players, Zidane, Ronaldinho, Ronaldo. And out of nowhere, these guys took over for like more than 10 years, dude. More than 10 years.
I think it's the same. I think it's probably a shift in just sports, dude. Because I think it's been that way in like all the main sports. You see, dude, Tom Brady. How long has he been playing? Dude, Tom Brady's been playing since like 2002.
Yeah,
dude, this guy's been playing football for a really long time. LeBron James, this guy's been playing also
Almost
basketball
20
for like
years.
20 years.
But the thing is, they've been playing, but they haven't dominated. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I would consider Tom Brady a dominator of his field.
Tom Brady, yes.
multiple,
yes.
And also LeBron. Even though he may not have won a lot of rings, he's got multiple rings, and he's always been a top competitor. I think in a sport like that, you really need the whole team to be A1 in order for you to win, right? Like in soccer, I may be wrong, but like the way I see it, you have a Ronaldo, you have a Cristiano, you have a Messi. Those guys are the ones that are scoring. One goal can change the whole whole game. In basketball, the last shot, but you have to have. He can't score all 100
but
points.
It's still a team effort in soccer.
No, for sure.
The thing is, they've maintained themselves number one, not just compete. Number one for more than 10 years or 15 years. That's been all over the world. ¿Me entiendes?
Yeah.
I think I may be wrong, but LeBron James, yes, he's been playing for the 5 years, but these last 5 years or 6, and he's not number one, dude. There's Kevin Durant. Hay otros jugadores que han ganado MVP, and that's the difference. There's other players that have won different awards, and he hasn't.
No, I definitely think the thing that Ronaldo and Messi have behind them is that they're at the sport that they play is global.
That too.
Played everywhere, in every corner. Right here, we can go. I bet you someone's playing right now somewhere. Yeah. It's global. Everyone knows about it. Even if they don't know, they know Messi or Ronaldo. Like, if you go out somewhere, like if you go to South America, no, not many people will know Tom Brady. Like, it's
sure.
It's like they're competing, but they seem much bigger, and they're not taking anything away from LeBron's or Tom Brady's career, because they've obviously been great at their specific sport. But these two, or just I have just been at the top level at a global sport for now it's about to be a generate. It's literally now you have they're playing with literally young kids. They're playing like Pedri and Gavi. Yeah. They're not even 21 years old.
Dude, one of them's dating the mom.
Have you
heard that? Did you hear that?
No.
Did you hear that? Well, not them two, but they're at a point where everyone's older. Piqué, you know who Piqué is? The guy that was with Shakira?
The one, yeah.
Yeah. He was supposedly, I don't know how true this is. That's the thing. Que estaba con la mamá de Gavi. Gavi's like an 18-year-old.
Yeah, he's an 18.
Dang, that's
yeah, and then I think they got cheating, or I don't know what it is. It's a mess, but you're at that point. They're at that point where they could be the dad.
Dang, that's cool.
So let me ask you this though, and it's probably the last question, and then we could talk about your business and stuff, right?
Of course.
Unless you have anything else, but who do you think it's more competitive now or back when Pelé was playing?
No, now. I think now. I mean, I wasn't born when Pelé was here, of course, but I think now it's definitely more competitive because the defenders now are more physical, or just stronger, just smarter. They're there wasn't, in a sense, there probably was a Van Dijk in the past, or Sergio Ramos in the past, but there wasn't multiple of them.
They have technology. It's like, oh, you think they have people like telling them, hey, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, tactical strike, todo eso. I think there was, pero no era tanto, huh?
No, and it's like a lot. Like in the past, I don't think players lasted as long as well at the top level. Like you had like a few players that lasted, 5 to 7 years, but not many had. Like Sergio Ramos right now, he's still playing.
Yeah.
He's still competing at the highest level. Like he's captaining his a club team at PSG. It's like you don't see many players from that generation that did that.
Did you agree that they didn't call him up to the World Cup?
Yeah, I would have taken him.
Yeah.
I would have taken him not because he would have played, just because of the locker room. He's won the World Cup. He's won everything in a sense.
Yeah.
He's won everything that a soccer player can dream of, and he's probably one of the best defenders, ever. So it's like I would have definitely, if I have such a young team at the Spain squad, I would have definitely called them up, just for the locker room. Just because if I'm a 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old, and I need advice, and I'm about to go start in a game against, say, Portugal or something in a World Cup group stage, I'm going to Ramos.
Yeah.
I'm going to Ramos and sitting him down. I'm like, hey, look, like I'm dealing with this mentally. How did you deal with this? Because he'll probably he's been to 4 or 5 World Cups. So it's like he's dealt
and
all
besides
that.
the World Cups, man, I mean the Champions League,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
He's literally won it all as a defender. Like
Everything.
It's top notch. And I think, I mean, you're right. I mean, I think it all comes to mental for a younger guy, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you say that guy's name? The guy from France.
Mbappe?
Mbappe.
How do you feel about Mbappe?
He's good. Very good. Super young. I do think he's different than most players that I've seen, because he does use his athletic ability a lot, but he's just so much faster and stronger than most people that he plays. Like just most people that he's played in this generation, he's just so much faster. And before, I liked more players that impacted the game in different ways, more with the ball than their athletic ability. But I think the generation that we're coming into is like you're coming into like some super athletes, like himself. Then you have like Jude Bellingham, that's an English player that he's only 18, 19, and he's basically a grown man.
Musaya or whatever.
yeah.
From what's the name?
Musa.
Musa?
Yeah.
No.
Or the one from
Germany.
France. Oh,
¿Cómo se llama?
I know. Yeah, the one that plays at Bayern.
Yeah, Musiala or
Yeah,
whatever. He's like
Musiala.
18-year-old. He played really good in the World Cup.
No, he's very good. That's what so it's like I like Mbappe a lot because he affects the game every time he touches the ball. But it's definitely different than, like, if you had asked me a couple years ago, I probably wouldn't have liked him, because I like players that take the ball, can dribble, or like can impact the game with a pass, like an Iniesta or Modric. But that's just my type of player,
Do you think that this guy is gonna be like the next like Cristiano or Messi, as in like lasting that long of a career in like an elite level?
I think tomorrow will prove it. I think tomorrow will be kind of like the turning point, if it is, because remember, he won last World Cup.
That's big.
Yeah. And now tomorrow
That's
he's
huge.
going back to back. He can go back to back, which I hope he doesn't, because I want Messi to win. But he can go back to back, and that's gonna be a turning point, because he's not even 23.
Because he wins, that's 2.
That's
back
crazy.
to back to back.
Dude, most people I was looking this up because I was curious. Most people only have 2.
Yeah.
Like most of the elite have 2, and that's a lot. There's only one player that has more than 2.
It's Pelé, no?
Only
Yeah.
Pelé.
Yeah.
But like, and he's, how old is he? 22, 23?
23.
23. So if he gets it at 23, that's nuts.
It's
And he
tough,
still
man.
has, so it's gonna be a turning point. And I do think it's also gonna be a lot on his club level as well, because he is the main guy at France, but he goes to the club level, and you have Neymar to the right of you, you have Messi to the left of you, then you have some other good players that are in the mix of that.
But he pretty much owns PSG, though.
Yeah, that too.
He
That
literally
too.
calls the shots there, dude.
Yeah,
Is he?
that
He's-
too. Yeah, his
like
contract is
the biggest
basically
paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, he basically they give him a lot of freedom.
They give him everything. Do what the fuck you want. Yeah.
I'll just tell you this. He has what it takes to probably be like a generational talent, and he also has the resources. Like, PSG has basically gave him the whole club in a sense.
Do you think he's got the discipline though?
That's
from
where
what we know.
That's where, from what I know, I don't
think so.
You don't
from
think he's got the discipline?
from his attitude, from
His-
the way he's acted in different situations that we've seen at least, it doesn't seem like he's mature yet. So tomorrow can go both ways. Tomorrow can go he wins and it's a turning point into a great career that he goes, or he in a sense gets a little bit humbled and goes back to club, still does what he does.
Do you think that would humble him?
At least from a player's perspective, if I lose a World Cup final,
But you won one and you're 23 and you made it to the finals.
Exactly, but
Is that still an L? I mean, yeah, it's an L, but is that really still an L?
It's tough, man. That's tough.
it's a tough question. It's a definitely tough question because I definitely think that he definitely needs to be humbled in a sense. Like, I don't know if it's by losing or
So is what you're trying to say is there's very little that you can say to someone like that good at the level he's been playing. So are you saying like really the only thing that can maybe humble him would be losing the World Cup?
the one thing that can humble him is the sport. Is no one can say anything to him that will humble him.
Oh, yes,
He's not at that point. Like, he's at that point that like not many people can tell him anything, but the sport can humble you. Like, everyone has gone through it. I mean, Messi's lost how many international games, has lost how many international championships. It all humbles you in a sense because it's like you're at the peak of your game and you can't win this. It's like you gotta come to realization yourself that there's something that needs to change. But I'm not saying that. It also comes down to how committed and how disciplined he is, because as easy as we're saying that it might humble him, it could probably, spiral the opposite way. It could kind of just fire him up and he can just come back to PSG and just keep going crazy, But he'll definitely be a great player to watch the next couple years for sure.
Are you into soccer cards?
Not really, honestly.
No?
So I did the World Cup book, but I'm not a huge collector of soccer cards or nothing like that, honestly. But definitely something that I think when I get older and have a little bit more time, I think I'll definitely get into it because it's really cool.
Do you, I guess, Haaland or Mbappe?
I like Haaland.
Yeah, he's a beast, man.
Yeah, I like Haaland just because he sticks to what he knows, and he's just a goal scorer. And he's a funny guy. Like, to me, it's like he's more approachable than Mbappe.
Yeah.
Like, if I would see them both out in the streets, and I would want to go have a conversation, I'm picking Haaland. I'm not saying that we would understand each other, but but at least at least he seems more approachable, and he's there. He knows that and he's also at a club right now. He's being coached by probably one of the best coaches ever, Pep. It's like I think Haaland would definitely in the long run would be better than Mbappe just because of that goal scoring.
He has to work more because he's in Norway, right?
Yeah.
And Norway, I mean, no one knows
No,
him now,
internationally, what Mbappe will always have over him is that internationally, Haaland he can't compete. But
if Haaland competes with Norway and takes them to the World Cup and makes them that you could tell that's a player that just is going to carry the team.
It's kind of the same situation that Modric is in now, because now Luka Modric, and for me, he's definitely in that conversation with Zidane, Iniesta, Xavi.
Yeah.
He's definitely in that because he did it before that he brought Croatia to the final, and now he's bringing them to this World Cup, and he brought them to third place.
Yeah.
It's like you don't bring a small country and with that type of talent. Like, now they're good, but it's like you don't just do that by luck. It's because you're a great player.
And the thing is, I've never cared for him, but then I was like, no, this guy's
he's a real
good.
deal.
I was like,
and he's 37.
Dude, he's 37, and this guy's just running around like whatever and all this shit. And it's like, dude, what the fuck? It's like, dude, he doesn't look like he's 37.
No, he's still starting at Real Madrid, top club, It's like he's a generational midfielder. It's like it's just that, and that's what it'll come down to. I think between Haaland and Mbappe, the international side, the club side. I think Man City has everything to win
A lot of money,
everything. Has
too.
a
Yeah.
lot of has have everything to win it. The financial side and the playing wise. PSG, same exact thing. They have the financial side and they have, two of the best players at the moment as well, So it's like you kind of just have to see how it plays out with their career, but I think it's gonna be a nice competition between both of them.
Yeah, should be nice.
Do you watch the MLS?
I
Follow the
do.
MLS? Who's
I
who's your
do.
team?
I like the Timbers
You like the
mainly,
Timbers?
mainly because the most
Because I'm
Colombians.
here.
Yeah, no, I like the Timbers. They haven't been doing very well, but I like the Timbers just because one of the players that I played with, that I got to play with, his dad is actually the assistant coach of the Timbers. So
Oh,
he's the
okay.
Colombian. Yeah, he's the dark Colombian guy that's always on the bench.
Is he the one bringing everybody?
Yeah, basically.
Because tiene Chara, Jimmy
Yeah,
Chara.
no, that
it's
now
like,
they have like 7.
right?
Yeah,
What's the other guy?
Santiago.
Santiago.
They
Andy
have
Polo, they had him,
Asprilla.
no?
Yeah, but
Asprilla.
yeah, so it's like I just like that they're bringing in more of, I guess, in a sense, my culture. But I'm not. I watch the MLS, but I don't watch it because I have a favorite team in a sense. I just like it. I watched it a lot back then because I just wanted to see like what it kind of took to get there, and it's very different than.
Do you actually watch soccer?
Mhm.
Because there's some people that play soccer, they don't watch it. They're like, I don't watch soccer.
Yeah.
I
So
just
I
play it."
actually I know people that don't like film,
Mhm.
that don't like watching the game, but they love playing it, and
Yeah,
that's fine. But you learn from watching in a sense. Like I learned things from the MLS that I think at the European level would never work. And it's like that's why there's a difference, like, and then there's also difference in how much you work, like commitment. Like for instance, the MLS, they're off for 3.5, almost 4 months. European teams, they don't take a break.
Yeah.
They take about probably a month,
Yeah.
and that's if you don't play international.
Yeah.
Like Haaland is taking this month or month and a half, well, basically off, but in a sense, like that's the only time they're gonna have off, and that's the difference. Like the more you work on things in your specific like profession or craft, the better you're gonna get at it. And it's like MLS, everything has to come together so quick. Like their preseason isn't long. It's just
Do you think what do you see in the US? Like you obviously been, you played in high school, you went to academy, you're in D1. Like what do you see in the US? What do you think it's missing, or what do you think
I think it's more tactical, because there are some really good players in the MLS but offensive players. I think tactically there's no style. Most teams that you guys have probably watched games, and you go in there and you're like, oh, like this was a very like boring game, or it was a very like not much action. Like there's no risk, there's no creativity. It's like you have, and then that's why you go to some games and you're like, oh, okay, I know this guy's really good and he's gonna create or do something, and that's it. That's really about it. Instead, if like you go to like a European game, say you go to like a Man City versus Liverpool, you know what both sides are gonna bring. You know the tactical sides of both of them. Who's gonna keep possession more? Who's gonna attack more? Who's gonna counterattack? It's like you have, and then here it's like you don't. No one really has that
no
style.
tiene la, ¿cómo dice? Identidad, right?
Yeah, their
Like, you don't
identity.
have that. Like
But I think that comes down to more the MLS organization, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
So, because I was thinking about it, and like UFC, for example, no one really watched UFC 10 years ago, 10 years ago. And Dana White did something, I don't know necessarily what it was that he did, but I think that the UFC is where it's at because of Dana White.
Yeah.
So, do you think that, like, if you were able to be like on the board of like the MLS, do you think that there would be like a couple things that you would be like, we have to change this right off the bat, like to get people more excited about games? Or
Definitely. I mean, many people probably wouldn't be happy, but that much time off is not good. Like, in this sport, you don't have a long career unless if you're like a generational player like Ronaldo or Messi. But the average player in professional soccer, you last like 3 to 5 or 5 to 7 years. It's not a long time. So it's like if you're telling me out of those 5 years, you're taking 3 to 4 months every year. You're by the time you get to 5 years, you're basically taking like 2 years off, in a sense, and that's not okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you want European clubs to come down here and play like in LA or beautiful places like Miami or something, they want to come down here to compete. Like they want to come down here. Yes, it's preseason, but it's because you guys have a squad to compete. They don't know want to just come down here and fly all the way down here just to for scrimmage
That's a
or a
good point.
practice game.
Yeah.
That's
You
a
know,
really
it's
good
like
point.
you want to play like I feel like as a player to player, you respect someone that is grinding just as much as you do. And it
Go ahead.
no, and it comes down to that. I think it's like these guys have so much time off and then they come back, they have about 2 to 3 weeks to get together, build chemistry, build whatever tactical, and then their season starts. It's like that's not to me at least. It's not enough time. I mean, it could be enough time to make some friends. You know, you build some chemistry, but it's like it's not enough time together. It's like you, in a sense, like you have your family outside of the field, but like the people that are inside the field are like your family. That's why most players that you see like Memphis Depay, he'll be he'll go and be with other players from like different countries or anything like that. You or different players because like they're all together all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, going back to the UFC though, I do feel like UFC has pay per views, and I think that's what people watch. Because I don't think do you watch things that are not pay per view in UFC?
And so they don't really. I think a lot of them are done by subscriptions now. Like a lot of them pay like 14.99 a month.
But the hype is that one match though.
But I don't think that that one match is really there anymore. I really think maybe McGregor had a lot to do with the UFC, McGregor and Dana White, because I never watched the UFC until really McGregor like had his big
Yeah.
fights there, right?
Mhm.
And there's been only like a few fighters that like I've been interested in it, but that was enough to get a lot of people excited to subscribe for that 14.99 a month and want to keep watching it. Like I think they have a contract. They have a contract with whatever TV person it is, where they have to come up with like 188 fights a year. So like it's like every weekend or every other weekend at least that they're doing.
That is
they're
one
doing
thing
something.
that MLS I think doesn't do. Like broadcast, no, like they don't the
So
contracts with the
That's another thing. Timbers games aren't broadcasted like in Oregon, like in the state. Like they're broadcasted through like a third stream.
Yeah.
Or like a second or third stream. But it's the same thing in like the East Coast. If I go over there and say I want to watch like Orlando City or Inter Miami, it's same thing. Like MLS I think has like a subscription or something, but they have it so like if you're in the state, they want you to go to the game. They don't want you to stay at home and watch it. They want you to go to the game and watch it there.
because
in
I
a
have
sense.
ESPN and I couldn't watch Timbers game.
Yeah.
Like it has like Root Sport, no sé qué.
It says it's
Madre.
blacked out.
It's blacked out. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what the fuck is this?
And the same thing, it's like if you go to say for instance, if you go to Dallas and you want to watch like Houston or something, it's like you'll see that it's blacked out as well because they
There's got to be a way because like when you go to bars around the Timbers, the game's on everywhere.
Mhm.
So there's got to be a way you can watch it.
But I think it's your average Joe,
Or
right?
it's just too hard for everybody to go out of their way to watch
We're
it.
talking to the us like the average people, like boom, like if you want people like when you look at blackout screen, like what the like why would I? What the fuck is going on? I just switch to the next game, right?
Yeah.
It's like if you're trying to
You're not gonna go
capture
out of
an
your way.
audience, you're not gonna go out of your way. Because
Yeah.
I don't go out of my way really to go watch the Timbers game. It's just more of a hey, they're playing. I just want to see what the fuck's going on, boom, but whatever. I think the only times if I ever do watch it, it's maybe in finals, semifinals.
yeah, important games.
And then maybe against like if they're playing against LAFC in LA. I mean, I'm able to watch that, but if they're
Yeah.
playing home, I can't even watch that shit. So, I mean, I think it's the broadcasting.
Yeah, I think it has to do something with the broadcasting, but there's MLS is growing. That's for sure. It is growing because there is more academies that are being built around the US.
But I don't know if that's necessarily on the MLS that it's growing. I feel like it's just like people I feel like the demographic in the states have just more like more people from other countries, and we're the ones that are making soccer a little
and
bit bigger.
and it's also because of the players that they're bringing in. Like for instance, now they have Garrett Bale at LA, they have Kaylin at LA. Like they have all these like players that have played in top European clubs for years. Like Garrett Bale's a Champions League winner, Kaylin también. Like they're all international. It's like you bring them all to the U.S., it's gonna explode because everyone from here. What do we watch the most? European soccer.
Watch
You
those people.
bring literally a player that we watch how Real Madrid win the Champions League 3 or 4 times. Who's not gonna want to go?
Do you think Cristiano would come?
No.
I don't think
No.
so. I think his pride won't let him. I think he's because he's the type of guy. At least it seems like,
Yeah.
especially by the way like he's been handling like the Manchester United thing. I think he's always the type of guy that he's always gonna look to like prove everyone wrong. Because he's in a sense his career is always about proving everyone wrong, and in a sense he always has.
Yeah, yeah.
He always has.
Yeah.
But it's like he's always gonna do that, and
What
you
is he
know?
proving by not coming to the states?
That he could still compete with everyone else. That he could still compete with the best players in the world in a sense. Because if he could stay in Europe, because if he comes here, he's not gonna he's gonna be competing with the MLS. And yeah, like Zlatan came here for a year and he scored about 25, 30 goals. Like it wasn't even fair. That's why he left back to Europe. Yeah, it wasn't even
What if
fair.
they offer him a soccer team
Yeah,
like Beckham?
I don't even think if he wants a soccer team.
No?
You know,
I
I don't
don't-
think he's that type of guy. I think Beckham looked at it more of a business.
more yeah.
And then this guy, dude, this guy.
He's business too, though.
Yes,
He's
but
definitely
he's
business,
business.
just different type of business.
yeah,
Type
I
of
think
business.
Different, like he has his own hotel,
Mhm.
like different types of business outside of soccer. Beckham was more like, I want to be club owner. You know,
Messi's coming though. No,
Messi wants, I think so, but you also have to realize that even if they're 40 or 40 something, if they're gonna come to a team, is because these guys aren't losers. Like we're talking about two players that are winners and will always be winners. So it's like if they're gonna come to the U.S., it's because of course they're gonna think about it sort of a retirement, but it's also because they want to play still at a level that they can compete, but in a sense win.
Because Beckham has a lot of pull, man. So I mean, if you could convince, okay, bro, like just come
No,
here
for
a year or
sure, but he
two.
definitely needs to change his team because his team
his
right
team
now, his team,
sucks,
his team
man.
right now is at the bottom table of the MLS. So that's not gonna attract
I
a
was
Messi.
I was disappointed with them, man. I was disappointed in
Yeah.
Miami. I was like, what the fuck are you guys doing, man? Like, hey, James is in Miami, no?
No, he's back in Olímpicos. So he's back in Europe.
Really? I thought,
Yeah.
oh, maybe he's just visiting Miami.
Yeah, he's probably
FC?
just visiting. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
probably just visiting. But no, he's back. He's playing with Marcelo actually. So
Oh,
in Europe. Yeah. But he was bouncing around a little bit. He kind
I
of
liked James. I think they did him dirty. I think they just over time, if coach doesn't like you, and I think it happens everywhere, but
Yeah.
because he was a star, you just, dude, like, what are you doing? Not him, but, you know.
That's very true. Very true.
So going back to after you came over here, you played for the Timbers, and at that point you decided to leave, and now you started your own business.
Yeah.
So talk to us about how you decided to start the business that you started.
So actually, probably like 5 or 6 months ago, I got in contact with a trainer that used to train me when I was trying to get prepared for camps or anything in like the Beaverton and Portland area. And I ran a camp with them, and right after the camp, it was just me and him that ran it. All the parents, all the kids were like, "Oh, like, can we get your information?" Like, and I was more there just for a face. I wasn't even like at that time. It wasn't even an idea. So, and then after that, I kind of started I mainly the one I talked to the most about was my partner, was my girlfriend that I spoke to most about, and she was kind of like, "Well, what's holding you back from doing it?" And I was like, "Really, nothing. Honestly, I was like, what the other job that I had before, I was just like, I could still do that plus this. So I started doing it part time. I started getting into it. I started. I mean, the soccer community here is huge. Between here, Kaiser, and Woodburn, it's huge. So I started doing it little by little. It got to the point that I didn't go full time. I was just doing it part time. but I ended up, leaving my other job, and I ended up going full time with it. And now I'm going full time with it. I have camps next week that I'm running. It's been it's been growing. It's crazy how it's only been a couple months and it's grown a lot in the past couple months. But it happened in a matter of nowhere. It was kind of just like I kind of was put in a situation of like coaching situation, and it kind of went well. And from there, I was just like, I think this could be a good like step, later on.
Mm-hmm.
But it came quicker than I expected. But
I think
definitely,
I think those are the best ideas.
hmm
The ones where you just weren't expecting them, and then you're like, I think this is gonna work out,
yeah,
and then just going for it.
Did you figure it out?
yeah,
Yeah.
no, definitely. So it took a lot. I took some time because it was kind of like I just didn't really know how to go about it. I was still thinking, do I want to play more? Like, do I want to tap into coaching right now? Do I want to do this? Do I want to do?
True.
And I was at a point, like in my life, a couple months ago or a year ago, that I had the security.
Mhm.
So it was like, do I want to leave the security and safety and get into the more uncomfortable and grow? I chose to go a little bit more uncomfortable, and now I'm at a point right now that I'm feeling like more comfortable.
Everything's working
Yeah,
out.
everything's
Everything's
working,
flowing, and it's just
everything's smoothed out.
yeah.
Everything, I'm still learning, of course, but I'm still tapping into the different demographics here in these cities, and it's like it's just growing.
So if I were someone, let's say someone that wants to like, yeah, I want someone to coach my daughter or my son or whatever. How do they get in contact with you? How do they find you? Like, do they just go online? Do they Google search any? How do they?
So I have my Instagram that's
Mhm,
at CA Private Training. You can DM me.
mhm,
You guys can DM me whenever you want. We'll talk about availability, pricing, what your kid wants. Because
mhm.
in a sense, the type of like service that I'm providing is kind of well rounded. Like I have basically the knowledge
Mhm,
that I'm not just a specific trainer for a specific position.
mhm.
I have clients right now, players right now that are midfielders, are defenders, are forwards, are goalies, are everything. So I tailor the sessions and I tailor the program
Mhm.
to them
Yeah.
to help them grow.
So if I'm a parent, and how would you explain to me what you do? Like let's say I want to get my son into soccer, but I don't know anything. My son's not very competitive. So if I approached you,
Mhm.
what would you tell me that what your services are? Because you said you do camps, but besides camps, what is it that you do?
So I do one-on-one sessions, which is more like if you would come to me and your kid is just starting off, that's probably what I would offer them. I do one-on-one group sessions, and then I also do group sessions. On top of that, I throw camps with other trainers occasionally, like on the holidays and stuff like that. But in a sense, the one-on-one sessions helps me just be one-on-one with the kid. And it's like if he or her are just starting off the sport, is we're starting off very basic, just touching the ball, getting used to it, just telling ball mastery. And that's kind of like one of the things that I hound down a lot on is take care of the ball. Is the sport is very simple. You take care of the soccer ball, and you just pass and move. And that's kind of like what I try to tell as many like of the players that I have around me, that you just always have to take care of the ball. That's why a lot of things that I do are with the ball. Of course, like, there's some agility work, there's some other things that we do on the field that, that are working out, of course, but ball mastery and all that technique, it,
Yeah, because you could be fast, but if you don't have that control, then what's being
exactly,
fast, right? Um,
exactly.
do you take all ages? Like
Yes. So
from
right now, the youngest player that I have is 6.
okay,
Yeah.
and then you go all the way to what senior
Yeah.
or
So right now I'm coaching. Well, I've coached high level college kids in the area.
Mhm.
So it's kind
Oh,
of,
okay,
yeah. I'm all ranges in a
yeah,
sense. It's all ranges, and I mean it's been good because I mean as you know, how I met you
yeah, yeah,
was through soccer.
yeah, yeah.
How I meet a lot of people is through
Mhm.
soccer, and like when I left here and went and played a little bit after my college career, I left a good impression, a good
Yeah,
reputation back here as a player, at
yeah,
least,
yeah. That's
So
good.
it's like when I came back, a lot of those kids were going into college and now are still in college. So they're always looking to grow better.
Yeah.
And you always want to, most of these kids always they go to someone that's already been in that spot and just ask for advice. But I go all ranges, but like the younger kids are a lot of fun to work with because it kind of you see the most progression with them. It's like you go from little ball mastery stuff to then they can juggle
Yeah,
4 or 5
that's
times.
when- yeah,
It's
exactly.
like throughout the months, throughout the years, it's like you'll see the progression as you go, and that to me
Yeah.
that's the most exciting part of it.
Yeah. Damn, see, dude, it's never too late. Sign up.
I know, dude. I may do it, dude. I need exercise, dude.
Come-
Jorge's always
come-
talking shit, man. I think that if I was in my younger days, dude, I'd be able to whoop his ass, dude, in soccer, dude.
You gotta come out,
I'ma
out to
come
one
out.
of the sessions. It'll
I'ma
be
come
fun.
out.
Check it out.
Yeah,
dude.
dude. I'm just not gonna come out with you though, cause he's gonna make fun of me.
Nah, I
You're,
took
not,
him.
you're not
Dude,
invited.
I mean, he told me he played soccer, so I took him out, and we were at the New Hope. You played New Hope?
Yeah, New Hope. Yeah.
And then he's like, I was like, damn, bro,
Dude.
I thought you played.
No, so I've played soccer. I never played like competitively.
Yeah.
But the thing with me, I always talk a lot of shit. So it's like I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do. I'll be like, dude, I'll beat you.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's
like
just-
I don't. If it's basketball, dude, any sport, dude. If like I just start talking shit and getting under people's skin. Like one of my buddies is really good at playing pool, and I've never played pool in my life. And I was like, dude, I'll fucking whoop your ass. And we went to the bar and we were playing pool, and he was beating me. So the only thing I could do was like just talk so much shit that I got under his skin, and he kept
Yeah.
missing and missing, and he's really good. So it's like that's what I do with everybody.
The mental side.
The mental side, dude. That's how I destroy people.
That's-
But no, I went out and I was probably like 23. I was like already like 2, 3, 4 years out of high school. I mean, I hadn't really worked out at all. So I was just dying out there, man. I couldn't breathe. It was rough. It was a rough afternoon for
but
sure.
you get used to it. The more you do it, the more you come out and play. Like, you'll get your feet under you, and you'll.
For sure.
It's fun, man. It's to me the line of work that I'm in right now is just. It's a lot of fun, and it's just you can grow so much. Like, not only myself, what I want is like I'm in a community that loves the sport, and it's like one thing that Florida and the East Coast they do lack is that they have other sports that are so good. Like Florida produces the best,
Football
like
players.
football, basketball. It's like you're
Rappers.
competing. Yeah, that too. So it's like I'm in a community that loves the sport. It's like you're always surrounded by it, and it's like that's how I grew up.
Well, they have everything in Florida, dude. They have
Mhm.
professional basketball teams. They have professional soccer
Everything.
teams, football teams.
Everything.
They have everything.
Yeah.
And some of them they have two of them, so they
Yeah,
have two
the-
professional
The Dolphins,
football teams,
the-
two professional
the
soccer teams.
Buccaneers, yeah.
They have two professional basketball. Yeah, it's a huge like. There's just so much more competition in other sports over there. Instead of like here, it's obviously only soccer, but for me, it's like that's perfect because that's kind of what I love.
Where you could grow, build.
Yeah, exactly.
Walk us through your day. Like when do you start? Like, is it all day? Yeah, you're busy.
So yeah, actually I'll walk you through my day tomorrow, I guess, because tomorrow's gonna be a busy day, other than the World Cup final. So it'll go the World Cup final. I have 2 sessions after, so individual sessions. So I have one for 1 hour and then another for another hour. I'll take a break in between to just eat lunch, hang out, and then I take some time out of that to then plan because I also have 2 group sessions later on in the afternoon. So for the line of work that I do, it's like 4 to 6 hours is kind of the sweet spot. Anything over 6 hours, it's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm guessing you guys have been to tournaments and stuff. To play, 4 or 5 hours straight is tough. And obviously, I'm not playing all the time, but just being out there gets exhausting.
Yeah.
So it's like it is all day if I want it to be. But for majority of the days that I've been working, it's definitely, thank God, it's been good. It's been good. I have more than 2 sessions a day, and if not, now I've been tapping into a lot of like the group sessions. So it's like tomorrow I have 2 individual ones, and then I have 2 group sessions. So it's like it's wonderful.
The individual ones, is it an hour or 2?
An hour.
An hour.
Yeah.
Okay. And the groups 4 to 6 or like
Yeah, an hour. And in the group sessions, it's minimum 4 players, max 8 players, and for an hour as well. I mean, for one of them, I go an hour and a half, But that's just because the last 30 minutes, it's 8 players, so we just have them play. It's not nothing like structure. It's kind of, you just play this for fun. But it definitely gets busy really quick.
Yeah.
And that's what I've noticed. It's just everyone, especially now that everyone's off, everyone wants to train.
Yeah.
Or at least parents want their kids to train.
Me your break, bro. They send you the kids. Like, you take care of the kids.
Yeah, they basically, in a sense, you're kind of a babysitter for an hour,
Yeah.
but you're also teaching them a skill that
For sure.
they like and that they'll grow to liking, hopefully. But it's definitely, there's been days that I've worked 6 hours and I'm exhausted.
Where do you see you taking this business?
So I want to grow to a point that I can either make myself make a school, school of soccer, or just an academy out here. I'm not saying here specifically in Salem, but I do think like Timbers obviously is a great academy or anything, but something that can be affiliated and kind of be a bridge from here to there. Because there's a lot of kids. I mean, you guys might know there's a lot of kids here that get overlooked or don't have just the financial side to get to there or get to the best clubs in Portland and stuff. So I want to get to the point that I can gather a school of kids and kind of make a bridge from here to there and kind of just joint it. Because that's like, for me, that's not something that I had growing up. I didn't have, like, when I came here, I didn't have a private trainer. I didn't have, all this fancy equipment that I could work with. It's like, it was just me and the ball and, however much time I had, like, with the coach, throughout the week. So it's like, I want to build a service or a resource that kind of, like, helps the people in need over here, that the parents that can't afford to drive the 45 minutes or an hour all the way over there, I want to build it here so that they can. Or they can, I guess, get the opportunity to get looked at.
Yeah.
Because I'm training players right now that are better than some players that I'm training out in the Portland and Beaverton area, but they're playing at a little small club over here, and over there the kids are playing at a big club. And it's like, I sit down a lot and think about it, what it would be if this player was in that situation, Because it's like, there's a lot of talent everywhere. Everywhere, to be fair, there's a lot of talent everywhere, but here there's a lot of talent that gets overlooked just because they go the wrong way or they don't have resources enough to get where they want to.
Smaller market, pues, no? Like, is he really that good? Like, who are you guys competing with? Like,
Exactly. No, I want to get to the point that I could build, like, an academy or school that can kind of keep the kids interested all year round, in a sense. Obviously we'll have specific, by that time, I'll hopefully I can gather, more hands in it, more coaches in it, and we can produce just like another place that some other people from there or from all over, like, the nation can come and just kind of, like, in a sense, scout or grab,
You got a coach right here, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah, he won.
that's what I mean. That's what I know.
Just
Trust me, there's a lot of
Willamette Central Valley champions right over here,
I do
boys.
A little bit. It's my first year doing assistant coach, but at McNary.
from McNary.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's a different experience. I've always played all my life, right?
Yeah.
It's different, man.
Very
It's different.
Very different. And
Different.
I think, and that was one of the things that, like, I had to, like, sit back and, cause I'm only 23, so I was kind of like, do I want to start this right now, or do I want to continue to play? Do I want to try it again? And I mean, I kind of chose. It kind of answered itself in a sense, I kind
You
of.
still play?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I still play. I mean, I try to play as much as I can, but like I said, like, with days that, like, tomorrow, it's tough for me to be there all day and then go play.
Yeah, no.
It's just like, it's like I need some time away from the sport as well, because it's like, it makes me value it much more. Just like anything, like, I think if you obviously dig into it for hours and hours, it's gonna get to a point that you're gonna just get tired.
Burned out,
It's
you
burned out,
break.
and I don't want to get to that. Like, I'm still young. Like, I still want to grow. I still want to live my life in a sense. It's like, work is obviously work, but I also want to get to the point that it's like, it's also fun for everyone around me.
Ronaldinho?
Yeah.
There you go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think you're right. You can't just burn yourself at one point you gotta say, do I really enjoy this or yeah, no, you know? And I think that's where you kind of have to, with time, you're gonna figure that out. You know, like, hey, I can't be booked every day, play soccer and todo acá, then train and this and that and 7 days a week. Because
No, yeah,
eventually you're doing 7 days a week or no?
so right now at the moment I'm doing 6 days a week. That's optional because like this week I work today and then I'm working tomorrow, so 7 days. But there has been weeks that I myself have just been like, okay, like I need a day. I need a day away from it. I mean, not playing, nothing, just doing something different, completely different. And it's like, cause I haven't been playing as much, but I've been coaching 10 times more, and it's definitely different, like you said. It's definitely like you kind of take a back seat of it more, and you kind of just see someone else develop instead of like when you're playing, you're just free
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
sense. But it also gets to the point that I mean, I love to play, and I'm always gonna be like, hopefully, I'm always gonna be able to play. It's just
How do you get the I see sometimes you're like if I'm right, you're like at McNary, then you're over here, Grassfield, Turf, Wilsonville. No, you're
yeah,
different places,
yeah.
no?
Yeah, I've been using a lot of fields since I started. In Salem, I've been mainly using like the little indoor,
Oh, little
McNary.
indoor, yeah.
It's been a lot of places just because parents, honestly, parents, like one of the parents, how I got into McNary, um, he was just like, oh yeah, like McNary's always open. We can just go there. And I was like, okay. When I found that out, I was kind of like, okay, well, what if I bring a couple more like players here? Like, would that be okay? And they're like, yeah, it's a public place. You can come. You just start finding things that like you didn't know. You
Yeah.
start untapping like fields that you didn't know. But I also have connections in like Wilsonville or like Sherwood or Lake
Sherwood, yeah.
Oswego or Beaverton, that it's like if I get any players from over there, I'd have fields over there to practice at. And it kind of just it kind of just depends. But I mean, now that it's been cold, I've been doing a lot of sessions indoor
Yeah.
because the weather is definitely very, very
Yeah, I seen
cold.
the small indoor.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
No, it definitely. I've been blessed because honestly, like that's one of the, I guess that's one of the things that like trainers hit, location, because location and time, and it doesn't help that here it gets dark by 4 p.m.
Yeah.
It doesn't help. So it's like location and lights. That was one of the things that like I had to overcome, and but what I've noticed in this line of work is that like if a parent wants you to train their kid, they're gonna find a way. And if you don't find a way, they're gonna try their best to find a way. Like for instance, like I train now I train the owner of the little indoor. Like I train the little kid there. So it's like didn't know he was, but something that I tapped into, and now it's become a good opportunity for me. Same with McNary. Just an opportunity that a parent brought in, and now I'm training there whenever I can. But it and little by little, that's how I'll go. Cause I still haven't even tapped into like some of the schools that I want to tap into. Like I haven't tapped into some of the elementary schools or some of the middle schools. I've tapped into a lot of the high school and colleges because that I know,
Yeah, yeah.
you know. So those are easier, but there's still a lot of room to
Poco a
grow.
poco, it's just gonna
Yeah,
come, your
slowly,
name out
slowly.
there.
Yeah, slowly. Like I'm building it. I'm taking it day by day, week by week. Like I don't want to rush myself because nothing good happens if it's rushed.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like you got to start somewhere, and you're gonna keep growing. If it's for you.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
it's not, then you figure something else out. It's not. But I definitely think that what I'm doing right now has definitely opened my eyes to a lot, especially to like what I can do. Going forward. So it's been nice. It's been nice to at least be like have my eyes open, and just continue it.
Do you have a website or nada más is your
So
Instagram for
right now,
now?
yeah, right now at the moment, I just have my Instagram that everyone. I also have my email, which is just caprivatetraining@gmail.com. So, but for the most part, everyone connects with me through the Instagram.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I
Yeah.
have, and I get back to everyone
Yeah, yeah.
as in time matters. But for the most part, right now, little by little, as I keep growing, as I keep getting more followers and stuff, I'll definitely tap into the other social medias because marketing and advertising, all that is all that is good.
Are
You
you?
know.
Will you? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Will you do business cards también? Or ya
También.
later on, ¿verdad? Yeah.
No, so I have my business cards. I have flyers posted up at different schools. I have, and the good thing is that since I've, I guess, launched this business, I've had a lot of people that have like tapped into it and that have helped me out a lot that I didn't really think that I was gonna have. Like, if you had asked me this 4 or 5 months ago when I was thinking about it, I wouldn't even have known who was really gonna like help me out with it. But since I've launched it, there's been a lot of people that have helped me set up group sessions or have given me a place to train or gave me another opportunity to gain another player. It's just like you see the love, I guess. You
Yeah,
see the
that's cool.
love and it's
dope.
really cool. It's really cool.
Dang.
Were you gonna ask something?
Yeah, I forgot what I was gonna ask. Though.
Yeah, I know. I was like, shit.
No, I forgot what I was gonna ask.
Damn, dude. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I'm happy for you. I think. I think Salem needs that. You know, we need more soccer. We need more of that. But yeah, man, it's pretty stoked. I mean, I'll probably reach out because I have a daughter. She plays
Yeah.
soccer. Ahorita juega in Mid Valley. But yeah, she's gonna get to an age where like, hey, I want to develop more skills. Me, I tell her, she don't listen. You know.
Well, that's funny that you say that because there's been some parents that have came up to me and they're like, "Oh, I like I'm a coach as well. Like I have the knowledge, and most parents do. Like I have the knowledge behind it, but they just don't want to listen to me about the
No,
sport.
They don't.
They're like they want a trainer or they want another face.
They
you know?
want to, yeah. They want. There you go. I was like, you gotta shoot that. You know, I know. I consider myself not bad, but not like great in soccer.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dude, I've been playing all my life. I'm like, tírale así, you know, do it
No,
this
you definitely
way,
know
do
enough.
it that way, you know, and it's like, and then she's mad, and she's like, no, I don't want to. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I was like, and then the coach tells her, oh, coach told me to do this. I'm like, okay, well that's good, you know, like that's exactly what I was telling you, but you know, but yeah, dude, I mean, it's pretty stoked, man.
No,
Hope you grow big,
exciting.
and you know, best wishes for everything you do for that.
No, thank you. No, thank you. It's gonna be it'll be good. It'll be good. It's gonna be long project, but here for the long run. It's gonna be fun.
That's
it's
right.
fun.
Is there something you want to say, like promote anything upcoming thing or?
No, just follow me on Instagram, CA Private Training. My Gmail is caprivatetraining@gmail.com. Just reach out to me if anybody's, wanting their kid or wants a group session, anything, I can tailor whatever your kid needs into a session or a program, and we can help each other out because that's what I'm here for. I'm not here to, in a sense, to like mess around or give a service that isn't what it should be, because it's like I know what it takes to play at that high level, and it's like if I can, be that person to kind of like guide someone to be there, it's like that would be great for me, but it'll also be great for their families, the kid, it's just it's a win-win.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
a win for everyone, and that's kind of in a sense what I want.
Well, yeah, we'll definitely put in the word for you, man. I mean,
Thank you.
honestly, I think we all know soccer players and families and all that.
Oh, of course. Everyone, this, like I said, it definitely, since I've started, the soccer community here has responded really well to like what I've started. It could have as easily like, I started it as easily. It could have been done by now.
Yeah.
But it's definitely reached a point that I can like truly say that I can see, the progression, and it's like you just build from there, and it's like it's kind of what I want to go for. And myself, I mean, I'm gonna keep getting better at it as well. It's like it's not only the kids getting better; it's like you yourself are getting better at your own profession.
Nice. You got anything
man.
else?
No, man, I'm
No,
good. Yeah, I had a blast, man. This is the first time I meet you, so
Yeah,
I had a
thank you.
blast conversating with you, man. Really appreciate you coming out and supporting us as
course.
well. So
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Before we go, France, Argentina. Mañana.
Argentina, Messi all the way.
Dang, I'm going for France, bro.
No,
Dude, I'm
You know what? I'll tell you this.
I'm supporting that 23-year-old, bro.
No.
That's young talent.
Do you Argentina because you're South American or just because?
No, because of Messi.
Dude, I
Messi?
really don't like Messi, dude.
Yeah, but
I
I don't
really
understand
don't-
why.
I just I don't know, dude. I just I don't know, dude. I just don't like the way he is. Like from the
Okay.
videos that I've seen, like the little bit of communication that I've seen, like there's just something that just bugs me, dude. But I don't know.
It's dude, I I fell in love with Barcelona and Ronaldinho, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
And
a hardcore Barcelona fan.
Yeah. me
and I
too.
really respect Cristiano, dude. I respect him because of his work ethic, and I
Mm-hmm.
really like I'm like you said, you were saying that you think that Cristiano is work ethic, and you think Messi is just pure talent,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's raw talent. I
raw
mean,
talent.
they definitely both have their raw talents, but Messi, like if you say what was Messi born to do,
Mm-hmm.
was to play soccer. Ronaldo at one point decided was like, okay, I could be the greatest ever, but I'm gonna have to commit completely.
I like Messi. I like Cristiano. You know, when I was younger, I didn't care for Cristiano because I was like rival de Barca, right? So I'm like,
Yeah.
but I wasn't like a fan of Messi. I wasn't like Messi. You know, I've always been Iniesta and Xavi. Like
Yeah, those
those
guys.
guys for me. Messi was good. You know, he's I mean he's great. Pero as I get older, I realize that Cristiano is it's just work ethic, discipline. His mind's there. And I didn't like Cristiano's attitude because he was cocky and he would just like talk smack. But then
Yeah.
over time, I was like, no, he does it because people just hate on him all the time, every
And
single
that's what I mean
time.
about. That's why, like, I can never say like with that debate.
Mhm.
It's like I love Messi, and Messi's my favorite out of the two, but I respect Ronaldo
Mhm.
completely because it's like the things that he sacrificed. Like I think he left 13, 14 years old to
Mhm.
go to. Like it's like all that you sacrifice and all the work ethic and commitment. It's like that's all. That's what you need.
Mhm.
That's what you need. And look at him now. He's basically in a 20-year-old's body.
Yeah, no.
He's
But I mean, no hate on Messi or anybody. Honestly, I like both players, but I don't know. It's a curious thing. As I got older, I think Cristiano was everything that I saw. I'm like, oh, this is what the fuck, you know.
yeah.
I think the only reason why I don't really care who wins is porque the Argentinian fans were just going hardcore in the World Cup, dude. Just talking
Yeah.
smack and being cocky, and then all this.
I know you said we were gonna leave, but real quick, what's your opinion on the Mexico jersey with Messi?
The Mexico jersey?
Yeah, you know how they gave him a Mexico jersey after the game, and then there was that like
Supposedly
little
he kicked
drama
it?
that he kicked it. What do you think about that?
I don't know.
Was that
I
intentional
mean,
or no? I
yeah.
don't think it is. He
To
thinks
me,
it
to
is.
me, look, I'm not
Uh,
a soccer guy. I don't know what they do with jerseys, but if a soccer player, of a professional soccer player, after a game gave me his jersey, like he wanted me to have this, right? So like, I think the least that I could do is like hang it up on my in my little locker box or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I think like where the hell would you like that's a gift. Even if he's not in like the best player in the other team, like to me that's kind of disrespectful. Like just fucking setting it down on the floor. Like to me,
I do think that it is in a sense it's like disrespectful, but there's a lot of things that happen
Mhm.
on the field or before the
Emotions.
game. It's like there's a lot of just trash talking. There's a lot of it's like it gets to the point that you as a player that like if the whole country is calling you this and this and this and this and this and all these players are calling you this and this
Yeah.
and then you win, you basically, you alone take the whole country out, all of a sudden they like you.
Yeah.
So it's like you obviously from one side it's like it's very disrespectful, which I do think in a sense it is disrespectful. But then the other side, it's like if I'm hearing a hearful the whole time and this, I don't care. I was like,
Mhm.
I just you guys lost, we won.
I,
Go
I
about your
don't.
days.
I don't
But
think he did it on purpose. I feel like at one point in your whole career, he's been doing it so often. People trade him jerseys. He doesn't even know sometimes whose jersey it is.
yeah,
I think it's so repetitive that he's excited. I don't think he did it on purpose. I like Messi. I honestly I just want to see a good match.
it's
I
gonna no,
wanna
it's
see
gonna
a
be
good
a
match.
great
That's
game.
all I want. That's all I want.
I think it's gonna be a very great game because it's like France attacks. Argentina isn't scared to attack.
Mhm.
Plus, they have Messi that can create from anywhere. It's gonna be a great match. Hopefully,
All I want to see is a
hopefully,
good match. I want to see, I this World Cup. Honestly, man, there's been a lot of great matches.
there has been some good matches
It's
there.
it's been a lot of aggressive games.
a lot of aggressive
That-
games, man. But I just want to see a good match. If Messi wins, good. Mbappe gets good. I'm like, Mbappe's gonna make history if he wins. Messi's gonna make history if he wins. Like, no matter what, you can't go wrong. It's just
Is that really history though? One World Cup.
For him, yeah,
yes,
it completes him.
it's like the Cinderella story, ¿me entiendes? It's like it completes his legacy.
It completes his
Yeah.
legacy. Like after this, it's like they can't say that he's not the greatest ever. Like he has much more over Ronaldo now. And then if he wins tomorrow, he'll have what everyone said that he could never get.
So everybody's always saying, commentators, professional players, Cristiano or Messi. Obviously, you're gonna have half and half or whatever the scenario is. You're gonna have a lot of people say, no, Maradona's still better than Messi. Pele's still Messi's third. It's always considered third, right? So this is gonna be Messi number one, no matter what. Pele, Maradona. That's literally just gonna shut everybody up, dude. Everyone that's been always saying Messi can't make it with Argentina, it's gonna shut everybody up.
Yeah.
Mbappe, because Mbappe's gonna be the second time in a row, 23 years old. Like, dude, what the fuck?
That's crazy.
Top 10 at least. Top 10.
That's
You can't put
crazy.
him number 1, 2, or 3. Top 10.
No, yeah, he definitely has like he can realistically win this World Cup and then go into his prime, and then that's when you'll see.
Dude, that's gonna be the Mayweather of soccer,
Because
bro.
if they go there, if he wins in 2026, si gana otra vez Mbappe,
Three.
that's
That's
3.
hands down. That's
Dude,
crazy.
the thing is, you don't understand. 23 years old, dude. Like, Mbappe, once again, dude, it's
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm hyped for this kid.
No, it's gonna be a fun match because it's like a young generational talent that could literally, like, if he wins, can turn his career into who knows what.
yeah.
Who knows
It
what.
can literally just sponge all the way up. Or you have on the other side the greatest player in a sense ever. If he wins it, it basically like for me at least, I've been watching him since he was little, since debut, since like his debut.
Who?
Well, Messi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, since his debut. So it's
Yeah.
like for me to see everything, and then now he's at the stage that he can realistically win this trophy and complete everything because he's won everything else. So it's like if he can complete this, no one can say anything because he's even won a Copa America now.
Yeah, no one's
It's
gonna be able
like,
to say
no,
anything,
no one.
dude.
You can't say anything, and
'Cause
it's like he'll get to that stage that you just can't.
Because Maradona won it twice, no?
Yeah, twice.
And then Pelé 3?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think this would just put it number 1.
Dude,
yeah.
he won it almost three times in a
Almost,
row.
huh?
Almost. I don't know what happened because I saw that it was 40.
So the war? No?
That's what I was
Something like
thinking.
that.
So yeah, because it was 48, 52, and then
When was World War?
and then 56 was skipped. And then he won it in 70, I believe. So I think World War II was what stopped the World Cup. But I think if that wouldn't have happened, I think he would have won 3 years in a row. But it was just
3
because there was no
World
World Cup,
Cups
I
in a
think,
row.
in
Yeah.
56.
Damn, dude, that's savage. I
That
just
is
don't.
savage, bro.
I still.
But
don't think
another
it's
thing too, though,
competitive, but, you
another
know.
thing too, I don't think it might have been as competitive as players are now.
No, that's what we were saying.
yeah.
I don't think
so
it
I mean,
is.
I
Because
mean,
when you look at the videotape and you look at the plays, dude, it's like, it's not the same, man.
Yeah.
not the same nutrition, not the same everything.
Todo tecnología,
yeah,
que
yeah.
no,
Everything.
shoe
They have a
pads,
lot.
the-
Yeah, they have a
yeah.
lot more now. Just a lot more.
There's more. It's
everything.
more competitive. It used to be more attacking. Now it's like competitive and defensive midfield. Todo es más tactical. Yeah, it's más.
It's
You
more
have
all
defenders
around.
attacking too, not just defending. You know.
Mm,
But
No,
yeah,
but
man. It was,
should be a great match.
it will
Yeah.
be, regardless of the outcomes.
Yeah.
You already know.
Damn. Well, again, man, we appreciate you coming out.
Thank you.
I'm sure we'll see you again.
For
See you
sure.
around.
For sure.
Checking out, John.
Let's go. Let's go, John.